Hey everybody, it's time for another video intro. And this intro, depending on the topic, will go on both Super Vader 400 and Mr. the Fanboy channel. So this is the Super Vader 400, Mr. the Fanboy, the brown skinned human, and of course Douglas Blair Roberts coming back at you another intro. And this is my favorite and best stuff. This is my favorite and best stuff. Sorry about that. Dog was chewing on something he has no business chewing on. This is my favorite and best stuff. Favorite movies, comic books, cartoons, etc. Remake. I've already done videos, but this is a brand new remake, remade intro and remade video of that version. Previous ones will be in the description box below for those of you who liked and want to see the original ones I did in 2018 and 19. Those will be up too. But this is a brand new spanking one. The only difference between this favorite list, especially for the cartoons portion, is that this list will have adult cartoons, which I chose adult cartoons mixed with the children's based cartoons, which I chose to leave the adult cartoons out of the previous version and have them of a list separate of their own. But yeah, this is a brand new version. And also the format is different. Instead of listing each version and why I like it and why this movie or series is in its spot with each turn, which makes the videos take longer, I'm just going to give a list running down each one, and then I'm going to talk about why certain ones were in the specific place they were in. So with that being said, let's get started right now. Let's go back in time to talk about my all-time favorite things from my childhood, past and present.
Still not clear. So many places to go, there's nothing here. So let's get away from this, 'cause this place will hardly miss. So take me back in time to another world where we feel alive.
1996 Good to Evil Characters Remake List. Now, the Wicked Binge already did a video like this, but I want to do a remake, including various characters who had a big part in the Toon Squad versus the Monstars basketball game, who he didn't include in the list. My version, of course, also my version will have the instrumental portion of the Let's Get Ready to Rumble song playing in the background. I apologize if that song drowns out my voice. It makes it hard for me to understand. I just wanted to enhance this video right here. So with that being said, let me get started right now. And of course, to see the larger real life superhero webcam version, the links will be in the description box below, and that will be, and if you're on my channel, that is the very next video. So with that being said, let's get started right now.
Humans have evolved many skills.
Sorry about this.
One of them. That's why STEM isolated plant-derived active ingredients that target nerves bugs have, but people don't. STEM, rooted in nature, optimized by science.
Y'all ready for this?
Yeah, so yes, number one on this list is what's the guy's name? Oh yes, number one on this list are Michael Jordan and Stan Polak. Like I said, before I continue, like I said in the last one, the Dragon Ball Evolution one, groups of people, I'm gonna be different. Groups of people will appear in different places for various reasons, and here is Michael Jordan and Stan Polak. They are number one on the most good to least good list of the good to evil list, because they are the nicest, most selfless, and kindest people in the film. Each both characters in their own way were doing everything in their power to help not only themselves but everyone around them, and that is why Michael Jordan and Stan Polak are number one. You got Michael Jordan, who in the Toon Squad game, when the Toons in the Toon Squad game, Michael Jordan during the halftime of the game, he offers up his freedom in exchange for getting Swag Hammer and the Monstars to put the basketball players' talent they swipe on the line. But if that's what Jordan would have got, if Jordan's team would have won. But if the Monstars would have won, Jordan would have had to go to Moron Mountain and become their newest star attraction. Leaving his family, friends, and everything. He did that when he didn't have to. When he didn't have to. He was also the battle plan guy. He scored the most points in the game. And yeah, then you got Stan. Stan did everything in his power to make Michael Jordan happy, even following him all the way to Toon World. Not only following him all the way to Toon World, but wanting to participate in the game, and even spying on the Monstars, and even getting beat up to learn the secret of the Monstars' power, and that was that they stole the talent for the NBA NBA players. And And that is why Michael Jordan and Stan Polak are number one. Number two is Bugs and Lola Bunny. Bugs and Lola Bunny. Bugs Bunny was the first person the Monstars encountered. And Bugs Bunny Bugs Bunny was the one who came up with the plans. First, he came up with the rule that the Nerdlucks, who would later become the Monstars, have to give the Looney Tunes a chance. They have to give the Looney Tunes a chance to defend themselves. Otherwise, they have to give them a chance to defend themselves. And it was Bugs Bunny who got Michael Jordan. Bugs Bunny did everything to ensure the safety of his Looney Tune friends, even his rival ones, the ones like Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam, and many more who were in the audience, who tried to kill him over the years. So that leaves Bugs Bunny number two, and Laura's number two, as she's probably the nicest Looney Tune. She does everything in her power. She does everything in her power to help the team. And besides Bugs and Jordan himself, one of the only ones on the team who was useful and actually had basketball experience. And just like Bugs being the most selfless person. So that was that's why they're number two. Number three is Beaky. Number three is Porky Pig, Foghorn Leghorn, Barnyard Dog, Beaky the Buzzard, the Mouse, the Roadrunner, Tweety, and a bunch of other the Tweety and the Granny, and a bunch of other Looney Tunes. Right after Bugs Bunny, Lola Bunny, Michael Jordan, and Polak, these are the nicest characters in the film. However, a lot of them were useless. A lot of them were useless. And in Porky the Pig's case, while he's Porky the Pig was cowardly. Porky the Pig was cowardly, like the Wicked Ben said. Porky Pig was super nice. He as soon as the Nerdlucks invaded, he organized a meeting with all of the Looney Tune characters, even interrupting a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner cartoon, and he got all his Toon buddies. He got all his Toon buddies to together, and he's the one who came up with the idea for basketball. But he cowered when he saw the strength of the Monstars, and he wanted to forfeit. That gets him at number three, and he was only able to score one basket, which for me isn't even good at all. That he had a presence in the game, but still he only scored one basket. Foghorn Leghorn would actually, in the old Looney Tunes, would be in the gray area, but here he was completely nice and did everything in his power to help his team. But for the most part in the game, he got some cool spots, but other than that, he was really useless and never scored a basket. His most memorable stunt is being burned alive by the Green Monstars. Then you got Barnyard Dog, who was there part of the Toon Squad, but you didn't see him play. But here, when you saw him there, he didn't say much. He didn't say anything at all, but he did everything in his power to help his team, even putting his rivalry aside with Foghorn Leghorn to help his Toon Squad buddies. Next was Tweety. Other than that cool, what I like to call that cool martial arts karate kung fu moment with the Monstars when he beat up the Monstars, he didn't do much in the game, and he got his butt kicked off screen. But he was the prime motor. He stood up for Jordan when the Monstars were bullying him, and he was the one who inspired Jordan to agree to help the Toon Squad beat the Monstars, because when Jordan was there, he just wanted to get back to his golf and baseball games. So that's why Tree's here. Then you got my boy Beaky the Buzzer. I've been looking for the name of this character for almost 3 decades. I've been looking for the name of this character, Beaky the Buzzer. Finally happy an obscure character like him made it into Space Jam. Not only make it to Space Jam, he made it to the Toon Squad team. And yeah, Beaky the Buzzer. Just like Barnyard Dog, he didn't say or do much in this film. And in the old Looney Tunes cartoons, he would be in the gray area because he's himself not really evil or antagonistic, but he's forced to be antagonistic. His mother and father always sent him out to hunt and bring back something and prove he's useful. And while he doesn't want to do it, he stops at nothing to impress them, even hunting or attacking anyone in sight. So that would make him in the gray area. But in this film, he's silent, and he does everything in his power to help his team. He's a true soldier and a true team player. And he's one of the people, when Stan gets beat up, he's one of the people that come over and help Stan. When Stan gets beat up by the Monstars and returns to the Toon Squad's locker room, he's one of the people that help Stan. Stand up and sit back down when Stan falls over. So but he's here at number 3 because dude was useless in the game. He got beat up off screen. He got beat up so bad. His entire upper half of his body, his entire face, neck, and head was covered in bandages, man.
Y'all ready for this?
So, what else after Beaky the Buzzer? Then you got Granny, who was just a cheerleader. She was there. She was supportive of everyone. But wasn't really even in the game. Daffy Duck passed the ball, allowing the Monstars to squash. What's his name? So once again, just like she would actually be number 1, just one of the nicest characters in the Looney Tunes universe. However, she was useless in this game, and that makes her number 3. Next is I keep forgetting his name, but the mouse, who I like to call the Disney mouse. I keep the annoying mouse who would never shut up. Kind, nice, but kind and nice don't win basketball games. He was kind, nice, wanted to do anything to help, but that doesn't win basketball games. And he got smashed. Next is I can't believe I always forget him. Next, also number 3 spot is Pepe Le Pew. One of his biggest moments. Pepe Le Pew. I always liked Pepe Le Pew, but I've never really cared much for his cartoons because his stick gets stale, and a lot of people agree with me because he's in a lot of people's worst Looney Tunes list. But here, he scored one basket. He scored one basket and had 2 to 3 funny spots. In 2 to 3 funny spots in the 2 to 3 funny spots in the entire game. And finally put his hormones aside, do what he could for his team. That being said, he only had those 3 spots. He didn't have much to do in the final portion of the game. So number four Number 4 is Daffy Duck and Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. Let's start off with Daffy Duck. I put Daffy Duck under as number 4, even though he was more useful than everyone at 3, was because, like Wicked Ben said, he was a pessimist. And Daffy Duck he was rude to everyone. He's even unpopular. When he makes his way into the stadium, no one cheers for him. That being said, he still did everything in his power to help his team. And unlike the people at number 3, he had a big role in part 4. So that puts him, that gets him, earns him a spot on the good list when he should probably be in the gray area. Then you got Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd was a super nice guy, but he was a dick and an a-hole to Stan Polak, and he kind of really throughout the film only cared about himself. But that one-time basketball moment was for his enjoyment, but his basketball skills were his basketball skills allowed for the Toon Squad. Led the Toon Squad to victory. But like I said, he was just there for himself. When he saw the virus, when he saw what the Monstars did to the players, he tried to use that opportunity to get him a spot in the NBA, and that's what this Toon Squad Monstars game was about. So that puts him at number 4. Yes, he did a good deed, but he was selfish and arrogant, and he was a dick to Stan Polak, who was like one of the nicest characters in the film. Yeah, he was cleaning and stuff, but that's because he just wanted to help and wanted to be useful, and did everything in his power, and did everything his boss told him to do. So, yeah. Also, in this same spot, the other basketball players would be here too. However, these guys, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Larry Johnson, Muggsy Bogues, Sean Bradley, and Larry Bird, they didn't have much to do with the film, and and for the basketball players, their story arcs were separate from the Looney Tunes and Monstars story arc ending. So yeah. Now we get to number 5. We get to the gray area. Of the video. These are people who are not evil, not bad guys, who are not evil, but they're not really good guys either. And of course, number 1 is my boy. Number 1 is Elmer. And number 1 is Elmer. Number one is Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam. Yosemite Sam. Yeah, number 1 is Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam. And it's the same reason the Wicked Bench put Elmer Fudd on the list in the gray area, number 1. Is because as soon as this is over, yeah, Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam both did great things by putting their rivalries with people like Bugs Bunny aside and helped their Looney Tune brothers and did everything in their power to assist them, even having that cool pop fiction moment, and Elmer Fudd scoring that basket. That being said, when all of this is over, both of them will be back to their mischievous hunting ways. They'll be back to hunting and trying to shoot Bugs Bunny. That's what puts them. So yeah, they're not bad guys. They're not evil, but they're not really good guys. They're not really good guys either. And when the Space Jam is over, they'll be back to doing what they're known for. Next is the Tasmanian Devil. Tasmanian Devil probably should have been in the good category, but his violence, his cannibalism puts him here in the gray area. And in the old cartoons, he was an antagonist. It's not until the 90s era where he had a more protagonistic protagonist role, protagonist main character role with his own cartoon, and here being a member of the Toon Squad. Yeah. Next is Marvin Martian. Martian. While I wanted Marvin Martian as a player in this movie, on the Toon Squad, it makes more sense for him to be a referee. This was a clever writing trick. It makes more sense for him to be a referee because he's both a cartoon and an alien. So that means you can count on him to call it fair, and he has no allegiance to the Looney Tunes or the Monstars. He has no allegiance to anyone, so you can call it fair. But like Wicked Ben said, he was a weak and terrible referee. Not only did he allow lots of mayhem on the court, he allowed Granny to get smashed. And according to his Wikipedia page, not only did he get bossed around and bullied by everyone around him, every bad guy around him, but he got beat up by the purple alien. I think that's the purple alien. He got beat up by the purple alien off screen, according to his Space Jam Wiki bio. And in the old cartoons, he was antagonistic, and you can see in the film they live up to that. He has no allegiance to the Looney Tunes, so that puts him in the gray area. But he's not the bad guy in this movie. So yeah, that's my boy Marvin Martian. Next, this guy didn't have a role, but Wile E. Coyote, once again, just like Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam earlier, put his differences aside and did everything in his power to assist the Toon Squad in this game, right? Toon Squad and his Looney Tunes brothers in this game right here. However, when it's all over, just like him, he will go back to trying to kill eat the Roadrunner, and he's also been an antagonist of Bugs Bunny too. He will be trying to, him and Bugs Bunny have multiple cool moments together in this film. That, as soon as this is over, they'll be back to being enemies and rivals. So that's why Wile E. Coyote was here. This is actually, and he's usually an antagonist. This is the most protagonist role he's had, was the Space Jam movies. Who's after Wile E. Coyote? Next, who's after Wile E. Coyote? Oh yeah, and next is of course last on the gray list is Sylvester the cat. Throughout the game, yeah, he's with his Toon brothers. He does everything in his power to help. He had that one spot where he got a fishing rod and captured Pound, the lead Monstars' shorts. That being said, throughout the game, and even in the beginning, he can't put his obsession with capturing and eating Tweety aside. Not even for the good of the game. Throughout the game, he tries to eat Tweety. So he tries to eat Tweety, which makes him useless and more of a hindrance to his team, and that puts Sylvester in the gray area, and that's why but like I said, he's not evil like the next several guys we're about to talk about. Now we move over to the people. These people are bad guys. These people are evil. And we're going from least to most evil. First is the blue alien. Not. He's the lovable idiot, and being a lovable idiot, that makes him the nicest and kindest Monstar. He's antagonistic, but not as much as everyone else. He's kind of that, I would even say, a good one with with a bad crowd or is under the influence of his negative friends, and more importantly, his abusive boss and Swag Hammer. He's the nicest, even in Monstars form, constantly showing sympathy and respect to the Toon Squads. But he's evil because, like Wicked Ben said, him and the other Monstars, whenever their boss gave an order, they did everything in their power. They did everything in their power to achieve that order. No question. They carried out those orders. No questions asked. They immediately tried to round up the Looney Tunes, shot them up, and then when they ruthlessly stole the NBA players' talent and just like bullied the members, bullied Michael Jordan and the Toon Squad. So that puts him on the most evil list. Next is the other Nerd Lux, the other Monstars. I don't remember all their names except for the one. I think one is named Pound, and I think the purple one was named Bugsby, something like that. But all of these guys, I think all of these guys, or was one a girl? I can't remember. But all of these were bad news, and they were worse than not. They were more aggressive, more antagonistic, with Pound being the most aggressive, the most antagonistic. Pound the leader, just like not. They carried their boss's orders out with no questions asked. Ruthlessly tried to round up the Looney Tunes. Shot Bugs Bunny. Also shot Yosemite Sam with both with unnecessary force. They all stole the NBA players' talent, with Pound leading the idea. I think it was his idea to even show up there. Stole the NBA players' talents. Didn't want to give it back at the end. But had to, because it was part of the deal. And ruthlessly bullied the Looney Tunes before and during the game, and caused all sorts of mayhem on the court. So that definitely makes them evil. However, they have the first and second spot because they had that very awesome redemption moment at the end when they finally turned against their abusive boss, Swag Hammer, and sent him and strapped him to a rocket and gave him a one-way ticket to the moon. Next is who else? Last but not least, the most evil as always is Swag Hammer. This guy has no redeemable qualities. Like whereas the Monstars had that redemption moment at the end, there was nothing redeemable about him. The Monstars, especially not, were kind of sorry for their actions. This guy is rude. Not only to the Monstars, he's rude and abusive to everyone. And he's dishonorable too. Even though Jordan technically beat him fair and square, the Monstars, they had all these advantages. They stole the talent from the NBA players. They broke all these rules in the game. Yet Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes were still able to pull through and eventually beat him. And guess what? Swag Hammer tried to go back on the bet and tried to take Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes by force back at the end by saying, "That's it, party's over, get in the spaceship." And this is when Jordan says, "Why do you take it from him?" And the Monstars uttered the popular, "Because he's bigger than we used to be." And this is when they turned on him. They did, even after a hard game, calling him choke artists and a bunch of other stuff, and lecture, even stomping on Bucks, the purple one's foot. And all of this, instead of finding new ways to make his moron mountain great, all of this just to get some new attractions to Moron Mountain. So that goes to show you he's a ruthless dictator, tyrannical, arrogant boss, and shrewd businessman who will do whatever it takes to win. And that makes Swag Hammer the most evil character in Space Jam. So, with that being said, I'm finished. The larger Part 2 webcam version as a real-life superhero will be in the description box below. Alright, turn the video off now if you don't want to hear the rest of the music.